Alright guys, welcome to Gauntlet's Race Mod, and today we're going to show off the new ship set which is now available for download that uses the Revenge of the Snathi DLC. So this uses Snathi parts extensively. I have to say, if I had to make an entire ship set and only use Snathi parts and nothing else, I would hate it. I would absolutely hate it. There's just not enough parts to be a whole sort of set. I'm not complaining. It's fine. You know, I'm using parts from other sets though as well. So don't expect this to be Snathi only parts, but I try to use the sort of more iconic pieces. I'm just going to give you a smattering of a preview because this video needs to be a little quick because of my schedule. So right here, is actually a large kinetic battleship. You'll see this set, which is for a race called the Delnorian Renegades, has really great turret designs. I wanted something special involved here. So if you get this package, you're getting a kinetic and a beam version of this turret design, and I think it's just fantastic. This one here, the smaller model here, that's from the Kirani hierarchy, actually. So for example, that's your sort of large hull. Another large hull is, let's find the beam battleship. I'm sorry, the missile battleship is this thing, very airplaney, very Spruce Goose or World War II fighter. Lots of missiles. I love this ship. It's great. Then we've got things like, our destroyers, which are kind of like flying turtles in this case. Those are medium ships. Medium ships are destroyers in my universe. Then we've got, a more balanced one, a kinetic one. The missile destroyer is very much just one of their cargo hulls with missile pods slapped on. Then we've got things like their fighters and their corvettes. Really, again, I'm just so happy with that turret. Really makes the set worthwhile. Then we've got things like, let's see here, a constructor ship. These guys like their little wings. And then let's see here. Let's go to the carriers, shall we? Before we hit up all the dreadnoughts. Drone carrier. Alright, drone carriers are standard cargo ship with 3 docked fighters. Nothing too impressive there. But then we have the carrier battleship, which I'm really happy with how this guy came out. Again, kind of has this weird boat/plane thing going for him, which is kind of cool. In here you see their more advanced command deck coming out, and bigger, just a meatier ship than they usually build, It's a carrier, so it's not really meant to be that maneuverable. But these guys definitely like to swoop in, shoot their target, and get the hell out. So most of their stuff is forward-facing in terms of weaponry. Where they do start to vary from that strategy is with their dreadnoughts. Before we get to them though, we'll look at the carrier dreadnought, which is a huge hull. The carrier one in this case, lots of fighters on board this guy, lots of fighters flying around him. He's big, he's fat, he's bulky, he's got lots of doodads, and he's also got 8 beam turrets arranged just in, sort of defensive positions. So unlike a lot of their ships, this one is really not so much meant for forward firing. It's hanging back, and it's trying to pelt at any enemies around them in the distance with beam weaponry. And it would definitely want a dedicated escort. Alright, then we have the other dreadnoughts, which use the overall same hull frame, but tend to have more engines. They're meant to get into battle quicker. And while they do have, more turrets arranged in the sides and the rears than traditional for this race's construction, I mean, look at the sheer number of them facing forward. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 14. I think 14 turrets facing forward. So these guys definitely mean business when they are facing you, when they are coming in. Their missile dreadnought. Thump. Thump, thump, thump. That's basically... You know what? Maybe that's how these guys should name their ships. Just the sound their weapons make is what they're going to name them. This is the Thump class dreadnought. Then you've got your beam one, same overall format, though the engines got repositioned for this beam one. yeah, so I hope you're happy with the set. You guys can go download it. You just need the Snathi DLC, so that's great. Now, I also want to show you. Oh, before we go, there's their shipyard. It's weird. You know, I'm still getting the hang of designing shipyards. Sometimes I think I do really well, and sometimes, not so much. Um, mostly the problem is you start designing it, you make a pretty good model, then you actually start testing, you find that the ships are intersecting with the shipyard itself. So you start modifying and modifying and modifying, and then you end up with this mutant of whatever you thought of to begin with. Um, which sometimes works really just fine, great, and sometimes looks like crap. So, you know, I'm not too happy with that one, but I've also been working on that set on and off for 3 months, so I'm done. I'm done working on that set. Time to move on to more exciting things, and I'm much happier working on this brand new set for the Aquilarans. The Aquilarans are an aquatic race. I would describe them as piranha-headed, tall people. And they're a major race in the GRM universe. I just haven't gotten around to making them. So now we are, and here's a brief preview. This does not require any DLC. No DLC required here. So really only working on mediums and some larges here. And again, they're very much a prototype staging. So here we've got their sort of survey vessel in the middle. Also, God, do I hate the bug where ships get injured because you loaded a save. I don't think it's actually damaged, it's just that it shows the little fiery bit. It's so weird. Anyways, there's our survey ship. There, you're going to see this piece here as their sensor piece. You're going to see them have this long extended pole structure with these two rotating engines for thrusters. And then the really neat thing is their unique engine profile. The Aquilarans hold special place in GRM history as they are the first modern inventors of faster than light travel. There might have been races in the far distant past that are long since extinct that had it, but in terms of modern galactic history, the past 2,000 years or so, Aquilarans get credit for inventing faster than light travel. The Fulgar sold it to everybody. The Terrans radically improved it and had it a strategic advantage for a while. But today, the Aquilarans are back on top with the most radical and fastest FTL drives possible. And they have this really interesting energy configuration where they're just beaming energy between the hull pieces to their engines. So I'm really happy with how that came out. Now, you're also going to see two types of hull fronts. This one, this smooth, sort of predatory fish-looking one, and then this weirder lobsterish looking one, and that's to honor their aquatic nature. But the beam ships will have this interesting, more flat-faced poles and like almost like antenna look to them, and then your typically surveys, kinetics, maybe even missiles are going to have the more fish-looking outlook to them. There's also a couple of variants to the beams I'm still playing with. So again, these are prototypes. They're not finalized. That's some mediums. This has a kinetic medium, which I'm happy with. Oh yeah, and you can get a good look on their turret. These guys are going to like turrets just like everybody else I make, for the most part. And yeah, there you go. That's a kinetic medium. And then these are all beam mediums. And here in this case, again, I think you can see the sort of lobster lookingness. This one literally, I mean, it's got the two eyes, two claws, little feeler things in the front. Really happy with the feeler things and the sensor module right there. So these are very tiny point defense lasers maybe, or sensors. Then you've got these two big rotating sections on either side. Those are its main cannons. And then it's got some additional extra cannons there. And then, it's got two thrusters. It's a bigger ship. And it's got two of those engine arrays plus a third core engine. So yeah, very, very happy with that design. And there's my original variant has the claws directly sideways. I'm keeping that as an option, so you'll get both designs in this case. So yeah, that's them so far. And I am also working on a huge, but I'm not happy with it. So I doubt this will survive in its current configuration. The thing I don't like about it so far is this front hull just isn't what I wanted it to come out as, and it's not working for me. I overall like the rest of it. I like the back. The back is fine. I like the overall configuration. I like the turret array here. Boom, 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 boom. Um, but I don't like the midsection. It's too simplistic. I use too few parts. I actually tried designing this ship second, and I think I usually do huges last. And I think because I was working on it second, it screwed up my sense of scale. So I really just don't like how this ship looks in its overall profile and this giant piece in the middle. And I mean, unless I want to make it invisible, it's kind of too late to repair. Um, yeah, you can see what's going on under there. Yeah, and that's kind of cool. I mean, you can kind of see what goes on inside the ships. But yeah, just we'll see. We'll see about this guy. He might be salvaged, but he'll probably get scrapped and redone. And that's just how the cookie crumbles. But really happy with these guys. I think they're cool. So, all right, guys. Thanks very much for watching, and go download